Yeah, I just saw your message. Well, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the boxing shop. Mr. Ray, how you doing, sir?
Hey man, I'm not doing too bad. How you doing?
Hey, good, man. I know Nibs is probably tuned in, but Nibs, I got my smart water right here. I don't got my tequila yet. I haven't made it to. Actually, I haven't made it anywhere where liquor is sold in a few weeks. So, hey, kudos to me for that. But also, I got you. I know I owe you some shots. That's what we do. We bet shots around here. So as soon as I actually make it down to somewhere where there's a supply, or if somebody wants to
What is
sponsor us,
what is that one going back to? The Spence fight?
the Spence fight and the Inoue and Fulton fight,
Oh, okay.
both of them.
Yeah, Nib's trying to live off those two calls.
Yeah, he
Like,
is.
come on, Nibs.
He's changing his whole name and everything to Mister I Told You So and all this stuff.
I call that dude Mister I got two fights right.
There we go. Shots fired. Hey, I don't know how many other predictions he's actually. He predict Oscar Valdez was going to stop Navarrete in 6 over the weekend? And then
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He did. I know he did, and I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, for real. But, man, speaking of Crawford and that, man, Crawford's going on a little press run, I guess, after, which has been cool, man.
Yeah.
You kind of get the feeling that Top Rank really kind of slept on it, or whoever was in charge of that promotion before, because the whole thing was, Bud has no personality, he doesn't sell. Aram was on record saying he's lost money in all those fights, and I don't know if something changed, but I seen Crawford. There's a few interviews I want to catch of him, after the fight, but I just saw him on Sway's Universe earlier today, and man, yeah, I mean, there is some personality there, and I think him being now, man, he's like the baddest welterweight there is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is cool to see him doing those interviews, and he's definitely boosted his stock, I think. And he said on there, right, the interview I watched, he said he was open to doing it at 154, and he did say, "I'm the A side now." He
That's
is,
true.
man. And yeah, and it's true. You can't take it away. But yeah, just good to see him out there. It's always good to see kind of boxers transcend into the other, like the mainstream interviews that you could just see. And I think it's even cooler to see it after the fight, right? Like you always see that press run right before the fight.
Yeah.
But to see him kind of doing it after, man, it's cool. And yeah, props to him.
Yeah, because I think he was on Good Morning America too the last week.
I did see him on there too with the
Yeah.
Gail. I don't know the other people, but yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
10-minute segment almost, or right under 10. And
Oh yeah, definitely. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Once you're doing the circuit there, there's all the different TV studios and radio studios, Sirius XM studios, like all of that are up there. It's probably easy for him to just knock out a bunch of
yeah,
interviews.
I know he's had a Hot 97. I think I've seen Breakfast Club interview that I want to watch.
Yeah,
And all of it is kind of, I mean, they always say the same stuff, but it's still like entertaining. I saw him say that they knew Errol had a jab. He started everything with a jab and ended everything with a jab, and they were going to take that away. And just to see him talk post fight, like I said, I kind of enjoy that more than the pre-fight stuff. So
yeah,
if you get a chance, check those out. He's probably, if you have a favorite interviewer right now, he seems to be hitting them all up. And hopefully we see him back into the ring soon. He did mention the interview I saw, Ennis kind of not on the radar, so I don't see that fight happening. But he did say he heard Tank talking, and if Tank really wants that is a fight he would stay at 147 for. But hopefully we see him back soon, man. I think he's got to really parlay, all this momentum into something. So.
Well, I read that Spence is definitely gonna get that rematch going, so he's got that to handle. And I mean, if he handles them as easily as he did in the first fight, he should be able to be back in the ring again by March or April if they do fight in December.
Yeah, like I said, 154, I want to see it. I saw an interview with Floyd. Floyd's out doing there. You had two of the best welterweights fight, so I felt Floyd had to give his interview and kind of in a roundabout way still say why he's the best. You know, that's kind of what Floyd does. But, you know, he was mentioning for Errol, he said if he was training Errol or was in charge, he'd probably have Errol go up to 160 or 168. And
Yeah, I saw that too.
it might seem crazy, but with how dead he looked, if it was a weight thing, like that's not too crazy. So that was interesting. And so you just think at 154, do things really change in a Spence Bud fight? I don't know, but I'll watch.
Yeah, we all will, without a doubt. But moving on real quick, we do have our guest. Not going to waste too much more of his time. I'll bring him on right here. Mr. Connor, how's it going? How you doing, bro?
It's going good, man. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Good, man. I appreciate you coming on. I know it's late. It's fight week for you.
It
But
is late. It is late.
yeah, I'm sure it's probably bedtime already during fight week. But how's it going, man? How's the last bit of training camp been going for you?
Training's going good, man. We're all done with sparring, everything like that. So the rest of the week, just get the couple pounds off, and that's it.
And yeah, real quick.
How hard is that for you? You got a couple pounds. Do you hate this time of the week, or where are you at right now?
I knew it was coming. I mean, I knew it was coming. Not a big deal. We're gonna get it off. I'm not too worried.
Are you one of those guys that cuts a lot of weight, or you
No, I don't cut too much. It's no, I don't really cut too much weight. I don't know how to explain it. I just have a lot of water weight and such, if that makes sense. So you got me lost for words.
Yeah, I mean, I saw he was already looking in fight shape, but it was about a month ago that I saw you.
I mean, we're training nonstop, so I mean, it's not like I'm gonna get fat. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have the whole stay ready type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
want to get
just
ready.
yeah, exactly. And I didn't know that you were supposed to fight on that card out here in Tucson back in May.
Oh yeah. As an amateur, yeah.
Yeah, what happened with that one?
I don't know. Something fell through. A lot of my fights fall through. I don't know exactly what happened. It kind of sucks. I was excited to fight on that too. That was a nice venue.
Yeah, that was a cool. So with that, was that what made the decision to turn pro?
No, we've been thinking about it for a while and such. I just think now is the time. I'm like fully developed. My body's ready. The way I fight, I'm more like a pro style. Like I'm a slow starter, I believe. You know.
Also, real quick, we just jumped into the interview, but definitely introduce yourself so everybody knows exactly who you are, your weight, where you're representing, everything. And shout out to Joseph Rivas too. He's fighting this weekend. Also, make sure you get out there and support. That's my boy right there.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Connor Goade. I'm fighting out of Coolidge, Arizona. So that's where my boxing gym is. That's where I work. So I'm a trainer there. Me and Joseph are both trainers there. He's gonna have his fourth fight, and this is gonna be my pro debut. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. I'm just ready to put on a show. Honestly, that's what I want to do. I want to put on a good show for everybody.
And what do you know about your opponent?
I think he's from California. It's gonna be his pro debut as well. So we just kind of got it together, like because my original opponent fell through. Supposedly some stuff happened, so he couldn't fight, which sucks. But you know that it is what it is. So we just scrambled together and got another opponent.
And it happens.
Yeah, because if I couldn't get a fight, that would suck. Because I've sold a lot of tickets. You know that I wouldn't want to break it to the people.
Yeah, true. And I remember being down there at the gym last month. Your trainer was talking about how hard it is for you in your weight class to find fights. You're either having to go up or down a weight class as well. How is that, with you, training weight wise and all that? You just kind of, you don't really know what weight class you're fighting in. You just kind of float around.
Yeah, like as an amateur, I stay around like 119, 120, because we might fight at 119, we might fight at 122, 125. It depends, because at the Golden Gloves, which kind of sucks, they only had 112 or 125. They didn't have anything in the middle. Because I can make 112, but staying there all week is really hard. Like, I'm not going to have that pop in my punches, like for a tournament and stuff. So I moved up to 125. I won state. I didn't go past regionals, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of sucks. Hard to get fights in Arizona, like at all at this weight. I might have to go to the Philippines or something.
So at pro, what are you fighting at? Because I mean, you said 112 to 125. There's like a whole. You could become a legend. You could become a legend if you clear 112 to 125 in the pro with all.
115. I'm gonna fight at 115. That's where I'm gonna be strong at. That's where I'll have a little bit of an advantage. That's where I'll be strong at. So 115. Maybe like further down the line I can move up, but.
We have a quick question here. What are your eating habits while training?
A lot of fruit, a lot of like strawberries, apples, peaches, bananas. I drink lots of coffee, to curb the hunger as well. So a lot of fruit, and then meal replacement shakes, things like that.
So where's your pro debut, right? But then you have someone on the same level as you, both making debuts. What do you have a specific goal? Like, do you go in like I need a knockout to kind of introduce yourself? Do you need a win, or like what's the mindset right now going into a debut?
I wanna knock this guy out. That's what I love to do. I wanna at least embarrass him, make him look like he doesn't belong in the ring with me, because he doesn't. And it's a completely different ball game as well as the pro. So I'm really excited for the smaller gloves, no headgear as well. So he's a little bit older. I think he's 26. I'm 23, so not that big of a deal. I don't know how many amateur fights he has, but it'll be an exciting fight.
How much pressure are you feeling right now? Pro debut in front of your friends and family. Everything added on there.
Yeah. Not really too much pressure at the moment. Maybe when the night comes, that's when I'll start feeling it. But right now, I'm not feeling the pressure. I feel good. I want to put on a show.
Definitely can see the confidence for sure. Now I know you and Joseph work together. Real quick, how's he looking? Haven't been down there.
Sharp. He's looking really sharp. Like these past 2 fights have done him really good because he doesn't have any amateur experience. So these 2 fights, that's the experience he needed, and he looks really sharp. I'm excited for his fight more than mine. I'm excited to watch him perform.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. Definitely, it's always good when you have a stablemate on the same card as you as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to fight together with him and get that feeling, be in the back room with him.
Oh yeah, no doubt, definitely.
You said you've sold a lot of tickets. How is balancing that, right? Like, because we never hear that for I guess boxers starting.
Yeah.
You're in charge of selling your tickets. That's where you make your money. Can you talk a little bit about that balance where you have to sell your tickets, but then you also have to prepare to put on that show?
Yeah. It is a little bit of a distraction, like I want to run, but then somebody hits me up, they want their tickets, stuff like that. I'm trying to hustle tickets. So on the weekend, I'm trying to deliver all the tickets, driving to people's houses, delivering. So it's not fun. It's not a fun thing to do, but it's needed, It's definitely needed.
Yeah, without a doubt. But it also lets you know how big of a fan base you have and able to connect with fans too, which is always a good thing. I'm
a little nervous. It's my pro debut. I hope I'll put on a good show so people will keep coming to watch my fights.
Yeah, man, that kind of adds to, you don't just have to win, you kind of have to win, in entertaining fashion or spectacularly, or it's more than just winning, I guess, which is tough. It's a lot going on for the fighter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a lot going on. Oh yeah.
Now, since you are selling tickets, do you still have any left for anybody who's watching?
We're gonna pick up some more, I think, tomorrow. So we'll pick up some more. We'll have some more tickets ASAP to whoever needs more tickets. I'll get them to you.
There you go. Y'all heard it here first. Last time Joseph was
so there you go, Felix. You'll have to set up a link to link it to Connor's page because that money you sell the tickets. I'm guessing that money is more for you rather than them just buying it at the box office.
Yeah. Because people ask, they're like, can we buy tickets at the door? You can, but I look better if you buy it from me.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely helps y'all out for sure. And we're always talking about supporting the local fighters. Nibs is for sure a big advocate for that.
Yeah.
How many rounds is your debut? Is it a 4-round
Yeah.
debut?
Yeah. 4
Okay.
rounds. 4
Now,
3-minute rounds.
has your training camp differed any since your last fight being in amateurs? Now that you're a pro,
A little bit more intense. I mean, we spar like pros, if that makes sense. We pick our shots. We're not just going in there throwing punches. We're working on countering. We're moving our feet. It's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's not just all points. We're picking shots.
If you had to, I guess, viewers that haven't seen you, is there someone that you can compare your style to, or someone that you try to emulate?
Yeah. I don't know if I can name a fighter off the top of my head who I look like at the moment. Because I'm gonna box a little bit. I'm gonna counter punch. I'm gonna do it all, but
Okay.
depends on how he comes out. I think he's gonna be an inside fighter, which I like fighting inside fighters. They're easier for me to fight with compared to somebody that likes to outbox me. I have to walk in, gotta step in. I'm a little heavy footed, so I'd rather fight somebody that likes to fight. Makes it easier for me.
Hey, and that's the fans, I think, want to see that too. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna put on a good fight. I'm gonna bang it out.
now would you have a prediction, or are you just going for the W? Are you going to go for a knockout, or is it going to be a decision?
I'm gonna say 3rd round knockout. I'm gonna go with that. I go for that to the body, probably a body shot.
Hey, there we go. You do throw a lot of body punches from when I was watching you spar with Joseph too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you gonna be there, Felix?
yeah. I'm about 85% certain I'm going to be there.
I got tickets for sale, man.
Of course, if I'm going to be there, I know who to hit up for sure. Yeah, I'm about 85% certain that I'm going to pop up there. So you'll more than likely see me there.
That'd be cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need that. Felix has been lucky. Guys we've had on the show, he seemed to get the shot, the knockout shot. So we'd love to see you next week, Felix.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. Especially if you get that knockout, it's gonna be on here on this platform right away. That video for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it. Are there any other last comments you have for people tuning in or people supporting you?
I just want to put on a good show. I don't want to make everybody go down there and disappoint. So I'm gonna put on a good show no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, it'll be a good fight.
Yeah, there you go.
And shout out to my coach, Randy Robles. He's in the hospital right now. He'll be getting out soon for my fight. And then shout out to Julie. Shout out to Robles Boxing and all my sponsors.
Oh yeah. Shout out to everybody out down there at Robles Boxing. Super awesome, humble, great place, man. Definitely good people. Everybody there.
Yeah. But I think that's it, man. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and
thanks for coming on, especially fight week. Especially shoot, you're getting down to 115 pounds. We respect it. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, man, throw your socials out. Especially, I'm sure they'll be able to get tickets that way. Yeah. Felix is gonna link it as well. So yes. Plug whatever you want right now, man.
Yeah, so my Facebook is Connor Goade. Instagram, I think it's the same, Connor Goade as well. Snapchat, Connor Goade. TikTok, Connor, whatever the people need to hit me up on. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I have it. They can just hit me up.
Cool. Yeah, Felix, there it is in the comments. Throw that up. Hey, Connor, any nickname? You got a nickname yet, or are you gonna earn one as a pro?
Okay, so when I went to Mexico, Rocky Point, this is like 3 or 4 years ago, they were all calling me Kid Canelo. They were going crazy. Hey. Like the announcer ran down and he's like, "Can I call him Kid Canelo?" So I might go. I don't know if I like that. I like Kid Canelo, but I don't know if I want to do that or not.
Kid Canelo, that kind of flows, man. Like Canelo's kind of like an OG now, where the Kid Canelo, and then you got a show. I know you showed it briefly. Let's see it. Let's see why you take the hat off.
There we go. I got a haircut, so I'm not showing it. That's why I'm covering it up. I got a nice clean fade.
That is definitely Kid Canelo right there for sure.
So yeah, so I mean, we'll see what the crowd says. If they're like "fuck you," or if they're
Hey man, in boxing, people have their nicknames have changed. What David Benavidez just turned into the Mexican Monster. So yeah, I say you rock with that, and then if something else pops off, man.
the Hawk. What is it? What's his name? Aaron Pryor. What was he? The Hawk.
Yeah, the Hawk.
Yeah,
I like that one. That was cool.
there we go. Michelle's feeling it. Canelo definitely flows. So
Yeah. Maybe I'll stick with it. We'll see.
shoot, hey, if you in that fight with the body punch, you might have no choice but to stick.
I might have to stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And in front of that big Mexican crowd, they're gonna eat you up, man. Definitely, they're gonna love that.
Damn right. Yeah, I might have to come out to some Mexican music.
Yeah, there you go. Sombrero. It's a whole gimmick,
Maybe.
bro. It's perfect.
Yeah, that would be dope. That'd be cool.
Well, yeah, hey, appreciate you coming on again, man. I'll see you this weekend. Within the next couple of weeks, I'll have you and Joseph on at the same time too.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Love
But
that.
hey, appreciate it again, man. And tell Joseph I said what's up, and I'll see y'all again this weekend.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, brother. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. See you.
Oh, shit.
All right, there we go. Pro debut, man. It's got to be nerve-wracking making your pro debut for sure. I mean, it's not an easy sport. Ray's having technical difficulties, so I'll hold it down. But yeah, it's got to be tough, man. Mentally, fight week, as he mentioned, you got to make weight. You got to maintain that weight throughout the week. I mean, there's so much that goes into a fight week, like mentally. Sometimes, if you ever, Ray still looks like he's having the technical difficulties. If you look at the fighters,
My back.
oh, there you go. He's back.
I'm back.
You're back. You're back.
Back.
But yeah, I
was saying, bro, that what he's doing, making weight, he seemed relaxed. He seemed, up to it. It'd be cool to have him on after a debut, right? Because it's got to be so much emotion, so much kind of everything's kind of been built up to this point. So yeah, good luck to Conor, man. And if we could talk to him after the fight, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And it's cool with him and Joseph both fighting on the same card. It's always good when you have your camp fighting on the same show with you. Makes it easy, makes training and preparation easy. You guys are both working towards the same goal date and whatnot.
I mean, that's cool, but and we should ask them, like, how tuned in are you to your stablemate? We've seen when brothers have fought on the same card. I think the Charlie, and they're kind of watching.
Oh yeah.
And if whatever that person loses, how does that affect you? You got to kind of get that out of your mind right away. So yeah, I think that's another kind of makes it tougher. Like it's cool in theory, like you're both there to support each other, but hey, if things don't go the way you want for one, like how do you handle that?
Yeah, but it definitely puts.
Hey, they're pros for a reason, man. They're
True. And one thing I was talking about a second ago, where you having technical difficulties, just like the pressure of like fight week, pro debut, friends, family, like all of that bottled in. That ring walk. Once you're in the ring, like shit gets real, and those ring introductions, it might seem like they go by fast, but when you're in there, you're in hearing him talk about the weights, the judges, who the referee is, the opponent, his record, like all of those nerves are probably just killing you, and all you want to do is fight. But you got to sit there and wait for the ring announcer to stop talking. Like it's a lot of pressure, little small things that add up, man.
And then think about, I'm sure if you're out of shape, those rounds seem to go forever. But if you're making your debut, you got 4 rounds. You lose 1 round, you lose 2 rounds, you a draw at best, So it's like
right.
It's actually like you got to get to work quick, but you want to still take your time. There's a lot, and you look at some guys who have 1 loss or 2 loss, and you see they lost very early in their careers. Like 4-round fight, anything can happen. So, Conor seems has a goal in there to take the guy out. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to get the report from you, Felix. And like I said, man, I hope you get some good footage.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, definitely. Definitely. Like I said, 85%, I'll be up in there. And honestly, like straight up, like I've been at like every local Arizona show, but if it wasn't for Joseph and Connor fighting them this weekend, it would probably be a 0% chance I'd get there. But I'm definitely gonna try to make it out there, mainly for them. They show us love, so we definitely try to show the love back. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. And it's all platforms always open to those guys. If you're good with Felix, you're good with me. And man, it's like, yeah, you always hear about the top guy. I opened the show talking about Terence Crawford, right? And he's at the other end of the spectrum. Man, kind of the more interesting is the guys just starting, right? And like I said, when in the 4-round fight and, selling your own tickets, yet having to train. He talked about, sometimes he wants to go train, but then you got to sell his tickets, right? And that's your money. So that story right there, and it's a story of boxing. It's just so interesting, man. And you just learn. It shows you what kind of person it takes to be successful in boxing, man. And can't wait, and wish him all the best.
And it's a hustle. It's a grind because it's a lot of these fighters. I'm pretty sure everybody on this card, they're all local fighters. They're all doing the same thing. They're all selling their own tickets on the side, and that is their job. You know what I mean? That's the part of boxing that people don't see and don't understand. It's not just train and show up and just throw punches either. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot more to it. It's a whole lifestyle outside of the ring. It's a hustle. You got to stay connected to your socials. You got to build that following up. Like nowadays, especially, it's rough, man. So definitely show support to these local cats when you can.
And everybody has a story, and it's just like you hear so few of them. That's why, like when we can have someone like Joseph or Connor come in, and it's like, man, you really get to hear that story from the ground floor. And when we present that to our platform too, and hopefully we continue to follow these guys, which we will. And yeah, man, you gotta love boxing, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I want to real quick shout out to Michael Han for picking up that decision victory over the weekend too. It's another local cat in the New England area that Jack works with here in ITR. You can catch Jack on Friday night on his show, Catch and Counter, the B show or the A show. Mm-hmm. But his guy. We work with all these local fighters, and Michael Han's another local cat who beat Dakota's guy, another local cat, Harry Gigliotti. So it gets to the point where we work with so many up and coming young prospects that we, create friendships and bonds with these fighters. When those fighters start fighting each other, we have a nice little debate going on in the ITR group chat. So it's always fun, man. So it's cool. Again, we appreciate and support all of you up and coming local fighters too, not just the top dogs at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? Everybody.
Yeah, sure. Our platform's always open. Like I said, if you want to come up and help sell your tickets, you want to do it, you want to talk to us, tell us gym stories, how you got into boxing. Hey, we're open. That's us.
Yeah, we've had some crazy stories on here before. We got to bring back the street fight story. That one was always fun back in the day. We haven't done that one in years, actually.
That has been years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll bring next guest, which is definitely getting the street fight.
Their last street fight. Yeah, and if you're watching, man, I don't really always do this, but hey, it's not too hard to hit the little like button. It really helps us. Helps us reach out to others to get these stories across. So yeah, a little like, a comment. Even if you want to hate on us, we're grown. We can take it. So
yeah, exactly.
Drop us something.
Definitely. Yeah. Every time I watch a YouTube video with my son, it always opens up. Hey guys, back with another video. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button. I never say that.
I never have, bro. I always think it's like corny when they're like whatever. But if you could now that we're kind of in this, I'm like, oh shoot, that really helps.
Yeah, no, smash that like button, share it with all your friends, and tell everybody.
Yeah, you know what I mean, bro? Like for real, like I've never cared about that, but it really does. It puts it in other algorithms, right?
Yeah.
So
no, it definitely does.
Hey, if you don't want to do that, you don't got to do that. You're tuned in, and I appreciate you. But if you do, it helps.
Yeah, for sure. Show some love, definitely. I was gonna segue into when you were talking about watching a lot of the fighters from the beginning. Emiliano Vargas this past weekend was definitely that was impressive. That was a bit of an mature showing because that dude he had in front of him fought like Mayorga, and he was like trying to get under his skin, and he couldn't do it after the first round. Like that was all he had, that street fighter mentality. Basically, he might be like a Chicano world champion somewhere, but like that, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't ready for an act. Yeah, the Ruben Guerrero.
I that at one time.
Yeah, Vargas handled him, man. He handled him with he showed us skills pay bills, basically. Did you catch that fight?
I saw the highlight, man. I saw Emiliano standing over him. Looked like there was some bad blood.
Yeah, I think all of them, like he wasn't necessarily taunting him, but he was being pretty cocky in there, and very like, I don't know, just cocky, I guess you could say, and was just trying to be disrespectful, be dirty towards Vargas. So when Vargas finally dropped him, you could see that emotion coming out of him too. But then he held it together still till he finally finished him.
Yeah, and everything shows us he's a legit prospect. For me, it's a little bit early, for to be on that level where I'm like watching every fight. Like I mean, I'm not contradicting. I guess I am kind of contradicting myself because I said I love you. You love to watch from the beginning, but he's doing what he's supposed to do. I guess I should say.
Yeah.
I mean that's what a blue chip prospect does at this point of his career. So I wasn't tuned into the fight. It wasn't a fight I had to see, but I did search what did he do, and he gave a highlight. So yeah, definitely gonna see more of him, and can't wait to see more too, because like I said, he did what he's supposed to do to that level of prospect or that level of fighter.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And I mean, speaking of that, I didn't even catch the Richard Torres fight. I kind of tuned away for a little bit. It was on I think I was on the Showtime card. I was watching that one. But I didn't see the Richard Torres fight. I'm not sure if you caught that one either.
Bro, I saw another one that was I caught the highlight, and how are they putting these guys in there with him, right? Like Richard Torres' pedigree is way above the guys he's fighting, I feel.
Yeah.
Like he's knocking these guys out viciously. Like almost unsafe, right? Like who is you can't have an Olympian and be putting them in there with these guys that don't look like they can hold their own at any local gym. And
right.
So Richard Torres is doing what you would expect an Olympian to do, but at some point he's got to fight better guys, right? Because it's dangerous, bro. Really.
Yeah. Straight up. And I think that's the top ranked formula, though. We've talked about it plenty of times before. And that's kind of what got Berlanga in trouble. They fed him and fed him and fed him until it's time for him to meet somebody 50-50. And he couldn't produce that story that they were telling. And I think they're going to do that with Torres.
Well, but I get that, and that's why like when guys don't get knockouts, and I'm like, well, they should have knocked them out because they're being put in with guys they should knock out. But like Richard Torres was an Olympian, so to me, he should kind of bypass a lot of this, right, and kind of be against better people,
right?
Not only for the good of him, but like I said, man, these guys are getting really messed up in the ring with him. Right. I don't know if it is because Torres, he was brutally knocked out in that World Series of boxing. When they had that, you ever seen that?
Yeah, I still haven't seen him getting knocked out, but I've heard about that.
So he was brutally knocked out, and I wonder if that's playing into the part. Maybe it was something in his head that they're just trying to get him back on path. But he's got to fight better people, man. There's no way around it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna have to look up that fight, or you have to send it to me after the show because I want to see that. But yeah, bro, like, gotta got a text. I guess the Chicano world champion is really getting over with people. But Richard Torres, I mean, I don't know where he goes. I could potentially see him and Big Baby having a showdown maybe in the future.
Yeah, it's just so early. It's so
Yeah.
early. I think he's less than 10 fights. He's knocking people out. But I mean, realistically, the level of competition he's in, he could do that every month if you're gonna keep doing that, right?
Right. And I think his next fight's already been announced for August, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it's not him. It's Emiliano who's gonna be back in there.
I did see Emiliano with the fight, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's already moving forward. I mean, Torres can do the same thing. He doesn't have to fight these every 3 or 4 months. He can do it every month.
And I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what boxing is, right? Like these guys build up records. It's just a lot of time you don't see it, right? A lot of time they show up on the scene and they're 15-0 or 20-0. And in this instance, it's kind of different because we're seeing those fights. So, we could be like, oh, he's outclassed or whatever, but truthfully, that's a lot of our favorite fighters, guys that are world champs, guys that are on the cusp. They've had all these fights. They just weren't televised.
Right.
So that's when, and I'm not trying to bring Jake Paul into every conversation we have, but when people hate on Jake Paul, it's like, he's really fighting better competition than your favorite fighter has fought.
Yeah, no,
at
seriously.
At that point in his career, and he's kind of tried to get that point across, and that's not gonna work because if you hate him, you hate him. But like for real though, like when guys are 5-0, they fighting guys like that Richard Torres is fighting,
right?
So it's just different because we're seeing it. Usually we don't see guys on televised fights on big shows until they're like already past that. But hey,
that's Top Rank, and they televise all of them for you.
And you can't complain, right? Because we like boxing. We want to see boxing. It's kind of like that double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'd rather see something than nothing. So yeah, I'll watch it. But really, you tune into these fights, and I mean, you already know who's gonna win.
Right. No, and that's especially on the Top Rank show. Now, before we get to the main event, because that was a banger of a fight. Real quick, going to just jump over to Showtime. Gary Antuanne Russell, man, he scored a hell of a knockout. Did you see that quick one? Just right under 3 minutes.
I didn't see the Showtime card at all, man.
Okay, yeah. So real quick, I'll just run through it. Emmanuel Rodriguez picked up the IBF Bantamweight Championship against Melvin Lopez. Melvin was fighting his first championship fight. He looked like it. He looked lost in there. The scores were 120 to 105 on all 3 cards. He got knocked down 3 times in the last round and lost every other round. Like, I've not ever seen scorecards that wide. I remember the commentators in the final round after he dropped them 3 times, like he secured the victory with those 3 knockdowns. Like, no, bro, he had secured that victory in the 7th round. Like, there was no way Lopez was coming back from that. But yeah, that was pretty damn wide. 120 to 105 on all 3 cards. It was pretty dominant. And then Gary Antuanne Russell, quick first round knockout over Kent Cruz. Trayvon Marshall took a TKO to Gabriel Maestre. And then nothing. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to throw out, Jose Benavidez Jr. I'm not sure if you saw that. He scored a nice little knockout in the 5th round.
Benavidez fought? Jose Benavidez fought?
Yeah, Jose Jr. He picked up a nice TKO. It was a good one too. It was a highlight reel, so he was good.
What was he fighting at? 54?
60.
Wow.
But according to this,
That's crazy because he was the heavyweight champ, right?
Yeah.
Little Creed reference. Creed 3.
I still haven't watched it, but wasn't Canelo in there too? In that same weight division?
Yeah, he like walked the red carpet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't in the movie. I actually watched the movie. I didn't see Canelo, and I was like, hold on, I thought Canelo was in this, and I like searched it. He was just. They had a big fight, and I guess he walked the red carpet.
Wow, they made a big deal about him being in the movie too.
Yeah.
Really? Come on. I still haven't seen it. I'll be watching it. I'm holding on strong, bro. I'm telling you, Rocky movies usually always come out during like Thanksgiving or Christmas week. So I'm holding on. I'm gonna watch it like this Thanksgiving or something like that.
Bro, it was I don't know. It was
It depends. Like I've heard so many different people say different things. Some people have told me it was their favorite one of the three Creeds.
They're liars. I promise you, it won't be your favorite one. I can guarantee that.
All right.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean, it's a boxing movie, right? Like anything with boxing. I just remember I watched it and I just had questions like, bro, that was so fake, or like, I don't know. Maybe I expected too much of it, but the Rocky franchise is classic, and to me, it didn't. It's not in your top 5 Rocky movies. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, does it move the franchise further, or do you think that it kind of dies now?
If they didn't have another one, I wouldn't be mad at it. It's not like I really think they dropped the ball. They should have went with Drago, that Drago story.
Yeah.
But hey, man, it's a movie. You should watch it, but
I
don't think
eventually.
Yeah. Throw that last comment up there. It killed it. Like I didn't want to be too harsh, but
damn.
Basically.
Now I don't want to watch the damn movie, but I'm definitely gonna check it out eventually. You know what I hate is when people ruin it. I'm just glad.
I mean, that's not even a spoiler, but Jose Benavidez was the heavyweight champ. What?
Yeah, I see. That was actually news to me when you said that.
Yeah,
but it's not a bad spoiler. There's I still haven't watched the latest James Bond movie, and I'm a huge James Bond fan. But I was talking to this customer one time when the movie first came out, and he's like, "Oh, have you we're talking about it." It's like, I'm a big James Bond fan. He's like, "Oh, what'd you think of the movie?" They killed him, man. I was like, "Damn, bro! Like, I didn't even tell you if I watched it or not, and you just ruined it for me." So now I'm like, it's been years since that movie's been out, and I haven't watched it because in my head all I could think of is, "Damn, James Bond's dead." So I don't want
to. I hate spoilers. Like I won't watch for that reason. But I don't think I've ever seen the first James Bond movie. So,
bro, you have no idea what you're missing out. James Bond it's where it's at when it comes to action movies for sure. But speaking of action, Jose Navarrete and Emmanuel Navarrete. I was thinking Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez, which again, watch his highlight reel.
Bro, I honestly can't believe Jose Benavidez fought, and I had no idea.
I didn't know he was fighting either, and he popped up. The only reason I know is because he popped up on my Instagram feed. The Zone had him, highlighted on there. So definitely look it up. He scored a nice little win. But yeah, Emmanuel Navarrete, Oscar Valdez, hell of a fight, man. Hell of a damn fight. Them scores were a little crazy. That's definitely not one of those fights where you're going to want to look back and look at the box rec and think, oh, okay, these scores were wide. It was probably not a close fight. Man, that was close. I do think Navarrete won. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But man, what a fight, bro. That was a banger.
Bro, I was talking to our boy Yogi Mike, boxing shop OG. And right away he told me, and I was like, man, I didn't think about that, but that's 100% true. He said Oscar Valdez bought into the whole Mexican trilogy or the Mexican War, the Barrera Morales trilogy that was kind of on full display. He's like, Valdez bought into that and went into a war right away, and that was his downfall. And I was like, man, that's exactly what happened.
That's true.
Because, as soon as Valdez kind of got hit, it was kind of like a war right away. And I don't think you want to go to war with Navarrete, right?
Yeah.
Especially where Valdez could do so much more. As a boxer, Valdez, the Olympian, he could counterpunch. He has the footwork. And I don't know if, consciously he bought into that where he had to put on the show, or if it was when he got hit. Because he got hit and kind of hurt in that first round. And right away, he kind of threw caution to the wind, was going at it. And and we saw later in the fight he was doing better. He was slowing down. He was landing. But I don't know if Navarrete caused that by hurting him in that first round, or if there was just so much hype into making this a classic that Valdez kind of fell into that.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, shoot, if Valdez wanted to produce a classic, he produced a classic. He just happened to be on the losing side of it.
And yeah, and it's one of them fights too where you can say there are no losers because the way they fought, like it's a hell of a fight. We all want to see a rematch. We don't care what the scores were, who won. We just want to see the rematch. So those are the kind of fights where the decision doesn't necessarily play too much into like how we perceive it as fans. And then, I mean, the weird thing to me was how he looked after the fight as opposed to Navarrete. Navarrete looked like he just walked out to the ring, had that fresh jacket on and everything, was just chilling. Looked like he just came off the street. He was just stopping by the fights on his way to the club or something. Like he was chilling.
A lot of the times, when I don't think they had one for this, but the WBC presents, usually for Floyd Mayweather fights or Canelo, they try to involve themselves and they'll present a corny, this is whatever belt, right? And I think that stuff's so corny. But that jacket that they gave the winner for this fight, that was fire, bro.
That jacket was hot, man. Like, granted, Navarrete is not going to be able to wear it anytime soon out here in Arizona or down in Mexico where he's at. But it's a fresh ass jacket for sure.
That's a jacket, bro. Put that in a frame. I thought it looked cool. But yeah, like you said, man, when the cards are red, like, because I thought Valdez won rounds, especially like later in the fight. Like I said, after he got away from, let's just making this a full out war, which I thought he kind of jumped into too early. And bro, he's the better boxer. I thought he was doing his thing. And then the scorecards were wide, right? And I was like, bad cards. I think I told y'all, man, those are horrible cards. It was what they gave Valdez maybe 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But then looking at their faces, I was like, yeah, man, I can't even argue with those cards because Navarrete wasn't marked up at all.
And he took some shots too, which is a thing. And I'm sure there was some little, not like there were bad headbutts, but there's some, like Valdez touched him up. And for some reason, Navarrete did not get marked at all. Not on his arms, not on his shoulders, definitely not on his face anywhere. Like he didn't get marked up at all.
Fresh, yeah. And it was crazy. Like, I mean, and it kind of, those cards, maybe you wouldn't say warrant a rematch. And that's where I was kind of like, man, those cards kind of did the fight a disservice because it was a good, close fight.
Right.
They're wide, but really, man, I think that's a fight that you still want to see because I do think if Valdez, he doesn't have to be in a war, right? Like he could box and Navarrete could do his thing and it could still be a good fight. And I think Valdez could, win rounds like that. It's just, I don't know, like Yogi Mike said that he bought into that. He bought into, he had to create a Mexican war. And yeah, we love to see that, but it obviously, it just didn't go well for him with that style.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even not just this buildup, I think all along he's kind of fell into that. Like he knew that's what he wanted to do is go to war. Because even after his last fight against Lopez, he was right away in the ring. You know, that was the first thing he wanted. He wants Vaquero because he wanted that war. Like, he knew it was going to be a good fight for the fans. And I think the fan in him wanted to see that fight play out too. You know what I mean? I think
you can't take it away from him, right? Because when people talk Canelo, you know, the knock on Canelo is, oh, he doesn't give us war. You know, he hasn't been in that war. It's like, well, why would he be in that war if he doesn't need to be?
Yeah.
And Valdez is kind of, you know, like that. Like, he didn't need to be in the war. I didn't think. And especially seeing what happened, what he was able to do in the later rounds. But, you know, I don't know if that's ego or just, you know, wanting that. I'm sure the crowd's pushing you, and he's talked about it the whole time leading up to this.
Right.
And, you know, I appreciate it. But, you know, in reality, he probably could have fought his fight and done better.
Yeah. I think a rematch will look different. It's not like how I view like Spence and Crawford. Like, I don't know what Spence could possibly do.
Right.
But I think a rematch with these two would be different. I think Oscar saw the success he had and knows what he can do to pull off a victory.
But, bro, props to Navarrete, right? Like,
right.
Bro, because even making the weight, he's a big guy, and I saw an interview where he said that he didn't feel good. Like, he made the weight and he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
But you would have no idea. Like, he was in shape. He was throwing punches the whole fight. He's just so awkward, you know, after the fight. And I think I told you, man, the fight was him and Shakur, right? Like, Shakur is so skilled. He's so skilled. You could, if you're just level matching skills against Navarrete is not even in his area.
Yeah.
But
straight up.
that type of style, you know, and we know, I would think Valdez hits harder than Shakur, and Navarrete was walking through that.
Yeah, even straight up said he doesn't have any power. Like, that's
he said that, what, first or second round, right?
Yeah.
He was like, nothing.
Yeah.
I believe him. So, you know, that would be kind of interesting to me, him and Shakur, just because could he make Shakur uncomfortable? I don't know. He's basically great, but Navarrete is not your average boxer, bro. He's gonna throw everything, and you're not gonna hurt the guy, right?
Right.
Or it's gonna be tough to hurt the guy. We have seen him knocked down, but I don't think Shakur. That's a fight that I was like, oh yeah, I kind of would want to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it either. That awkward style of his is what gives Shakur. So that's what's interesting to me, because Shakur can pick apart any other fighter. It just wanting to see how he does it. But like, I'm confident that he can do it against damn near anybody. Not saying he can't against Navarrete, but how does he do it against Navarrete?
Right. Because Navarrete is not the guy. Navarrete is not winning amateur fights, right? Like, you think amateur style, the straight up technical, boom, boom, boom. That's not Navarrete. So it would present something to Shakur. Bro, Shakur's great. I'm sure he can figure it out. But I would be interested to see, hey, how does he keep this guy off of him, right? Like, Valdez wasn't. At times, Valdez was able to back him up and whatever. But, you know, it's just an awkward style, different style. And one, just as a boxing fan, like, let me see how that style does against one of the best boxers in recent history.
Right. That's what they say. Like, styles make fights. That's perfectly it right there. Like, I would love to see that. And as much as Shakur wants that Lomachenko fight, Lomachenko don't want him. He wants that Haney rematch.
And even I used to think maybe Pitbull Cruz is that guy, but last couple Pitbull Cruz fights, bro, like, it's like, yeah, you don't stop coming forward, but you just throw looping punches, right? And Navarrete is different in the sense he's throwing uppercuts from way out. He's throwing a lot more punches. You know, when you don't even think he's punching. So, man, props to him. I do think they produced a fight that will look back and be like, this was a great fight. If a rematch happens, I do think that Valdez can, maybe box more. I do think he got dragged into that award maybe too early. So yeah, I would look forward to a rematch.
Yeah, I would not mind that at all. I mean, it was a hell of a fight anyway. Who wouldn't want to watch that again? And hopefully we do get a trilogy out of it too, because that was a hell of a fight, and they kept it going for the full 12 rounds too.
Mm-hmm.
Them dudes' energy level didn't drop like once at all. Maybe there's a couple pockets where they slowed down, but for the most part, they kept up that pace throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. Especially good platform, ESPN.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
but that was
Shout out to the co-main Lindolfo Delgado.
Oh yeah,
I do think he's kind of one of my 140 sleepers. Man, he didn't close the show like I felt like, especially with all the names popping in that division. I felt like he could have did more for himself, but he got the win, and you move on, right? Like he looked good. It's just I would have liked him to push the effort more, but he got the win, and we'll see him again.
Yeah, that was one that I missed as well. The pre-fight was just taking too damn long, so I dipped out and started playing some 2K. But if you want to break down his performance on that, I'd love to hear it.
No, man, he has an interesting story, right? They said that he was sent over to Cuba to learn the Cuban amateur style. And I don't want to say that, like, maybe the knockout isn't the most important in Cuban style, because we've seen a lot of Cubans that do knock people out. But I felt like Delgado was by far the superior boxer, and he kind of just coasted. I mean, he hit the guy with everything, and the guy didn't drop, and that was kind of it, right? Like, he didn't push it, he didn't really go for it. So not the best, I guess, TV performance, but a good performance nonetheless.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Which at 140, I don't know what that does, right? Because you have guys like Rolly, Regis, that these guys, they have big names, they have big personalities. So just being a good boxer, I don't know if that puts you on their level or in their radar to give you the opportunities that maybe you deserve.
Yeah, true. I mean, when you're in that hot of a division too, that talent deep. Yeah, it's you got to campaign hard every time you fight.
Yeah, you got to separate yourself, right? Like going back to Gary Antuanne, right? Like what did he do? You
treat a bum like a bum.
Yeah. So it's like, man, you got to separate yourself from the other. So if you're just a good fighter, you got to have something more. And I thought Delgado, I thought he kind of missed an opportunity there.
Interesting. Doesn't sound like a fight to go back and watch, but definitely.
Nah, you're good.
Word on that one.
What's the next one?
Yeah. Anthony Joshua took him 8 rounds to do what Deontay did in 1.
Bro, I don't know if I'm tripping or what, but Anthony Joshua sucks, bro.
He might as well have hit me. I was out. Literally, I was asleep by the 3rd round. Like, that was a boring performance. Like, bro, what are you doing, Anthony Joshua? Like, that was not it, man. And I mean, the knockout itself was great. It was hell of a punch, hell of a shot. But Anthony Joshua is just, I'm with you, man. He's not that dude.
It's so crazy to me, right? Because I'll look on Twitter or whatever, and other UK fighters. I saw Josh Taylor. I saw everyone say, "Oh, he looks so fluid with Derek James." It's like, bro, this dude looks scared as can be against someone that Deontay slept and won. Like, this dude has mind control over them or something. Like, to me, Derek James didn't make this dude better. Like, you know, I know Joshua didn't. Him and the Robert Garcia project kind of failed, but at least I saw Joshua kind of pushing Usyk, and in that rematch, he had a close fight with Usyk, right?
Yeah.
This, he fought a guy that fought last week who Hellenius fought in a cave, like
Yeah.
literal,
A literal cave.
This dude Hellenius came out of the cave, fights Anthony Joshua, and he was busting Anthony Joshua up, right? Like Anthony Joshua was leaking. Before I fell asleep in about the 6th, kind of nodding off. I didn't wake up until I think the announcers made the call of the knockout. But I don't know why these UK dudes love Anthony Joshua so much. I was wrong about Terence Crawford, and that was more just me thinking he wasn't fighting the competition. I just think Anthony Joshua sucks.
Yeah, big time.
I don't know. Like Hellenius was busting this dude up, and yeah, okay, Anthony Joshua, yeah, you finally landed your right hand, but I feel like he was kind of even scared to get in that position. I think Deontay Wilder's gonna hurt that dude.
Oh, bro, I cannot wait. And I've still the thing is, after this weekend, I feel like it's just as big still. I feel like he still gets the support.
Yes, he gets the support from the UK crowd. That's why I'm like, what am I missing?
Man, for real.
If I'm missing this, if I'm missing something else,
they go hard for their people, bro. Like big time.
Bro, I do not see it though. I don't see it. And Derek James did nothing to Anthony Joshua like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, bro, a couple weeks ago, no one's stock has crashed harder than Derek James.
The worst thing that they could have done was get that boy a live mic at the press conference. I was like, oh, yeah, Derek, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, from the cringy press conference to his fighters, Frank Martin being in a close fight, Errol Spence just getting smoked. Anthony Joshua, like, yeah, he got the knockout, but you know, Beans right there saying Joshua's face was messed up. Bro, he was bleeding. He looked bad. And this is against the man out of the cave.
Yeah, no, literally, we're not even making that up. Robert Hellenius was fighting in a cave last weekend. So this dude literally climbed out of a cave to come fight Anthony Joshua. Yeah. We're not making that up. He was literally fighting in a cave.
Yeah, so, hey, I'm glad Anthony Joshua won because that's been a fight that I've wanted to see. Right. In the Wilder.
I'm mad.
Joshua, you got the highlight reel knockout. Props to you.
Right.
I hope the fight happens though.
Was that their first common opponent? I want to say it is, right?
I couldn't. I don't know. I'd have to think. I don't know.
I feel like it has to be their first common opponent. Either way, man, it's that fight is going to be huge when it happens finally. If it does happen, which it should, it needs to.
And it's cool, right? Like could Anthony Joshua knock Deontay Wilder out? I think if he landed that punch, he probably could. I don't know if he sleeps him, but he could definitely hurt him, right? But you know, he's such a scared fighter. I don't know if he puts himself in the position to hurt Deontay Wilder. Right. Like he fight when I'm watching him fight, I'm just like, this dude is scared to get hit. Like, and he actually doesn't put himself into positions because I think he's scared. And he looked more scared against Hellenius than he did against Usyk.
Right. Yeah, it's we're
definitely they ride for him though. They ride for him. They're brainwashed by that guy. Like I said, I think it was Josh Taylor saying, "Wow, Anthony Joshua looks so fluid under Derek James." I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're watching. This dude looks shook, and he's getting his face busted.
Trying to sell it. I'm surprised they didn't have Lennox Lewis out there. David Hay was there selling him. I'm surprised they didn't.
Conor McGregor was selling his beer, right? Like he made sure to put a beer in Anthony Joshua's hand.
Yeah, perfect promotional opportunity for sure.
Oh, for sure.
when that happens. I would like for it to be in the UK because that's probably going to be the best crowd. Like I'm sure they could do Barclays, but I think they'll sell out the O2 Arena with Wilder and Joshua. And we know Wilder's not afraid to leave the country to go fight either. So that'll be nice.
And like, let's not take credit away from Wilder. It didn't happen, but he was signed to fight Povetkin in Russia.
Yeah.
Right before Povetkin tested positive for steroids and all that. But yeah, Wilder knocks Anthony Joshua out in any country you could think of.
Yeah, in about the same amount of time as it took him to do Helenius too. Just one round.
I think so. And Anthony Joshua is scared to get hit by Andy Ruiz, Usyk. Bro, what is he gonna be like when he fights Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, you can't fight Deontay Wilder scared. That's for damn sure. He's gonna find you quickly. I don't even know how to fight. I'm not a trainer. It's just a podcast because I don't know how to fight Deontay Wilder. I wouldn't want to fight Deontay Wilder, but Anthony Joshua is going to have to. So, hey.
I really hope it happens. That's one we really need. You know, I feel like Deontay and Tyson Fury are the best heavyweights of our era. And for whatever reason, his fan base really pushes Anthony Joshua up there. I don't think talent-wise, skill-wise, anything-wise, he's up there with those guys. But if the fan base has pushed him up there, let's see him get knocked out of there.
Right.
You know, props to them. I want to see it now. So it's good to have big name fighters up there. And so I hope Anthony Joshua gets a Deontay Wilder or gets a Tyson Fury because really those are the only names that matter to me. I know people say, oh, you're skipping over Alexander Usyk. Bro, Anthony Joshua had a close fight with Usyk. And to me, Joshua sucks. So, yes, Usyk, you will get knocked out by Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury the same.
I just looked it up. There's probably more, but I just looked up common opponents, and Dominic Brazil is one. But get this. Anthony Joshua fought Dominic Brazil when he was still undefeated back in 2016. Actually, Dominic Brazil was only 17-0. It was really early in his career. It took him 7 rounds to stop him. And it also took him 7 rounds to stop Helenius. Deontay Wilder dispatched both of those dudes in 1 round. And not just like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Like literally probably both under a minute.
Yeah.
And
you know, Michelle says Deontay is real overrated. Hey, if you tell me that Anthony Joshua is going to outbox him, I'll believe you, right? Like I've seen Deontay Wilder be outboxed, but once he hits you, that power is not overrated. Like,
yeah,
can he box? And that'll probably be the selling point, right? That Anthony Joshua is a better boxer. Cool, he is. There's a lot of boxers. There's probably a list of boxers that could box better than Deontay Wilder.
Right.
Once he hits them, you're not getting up. And if you fight scared, the way Anthony Joshua has been fighting everybody, bro, that's a bad recipe.
I can definitely see him getting laid out the way Rockman did in that Lewis rematch because Rockman, he was afraid of Lewis in that rematch. The way he was putting his gloves out as like a defense mechanism, and Lewis just countered with that right over the top. Wilder's going to do Joshua the same way. And I don't know. Wilder's not overrated to me because nobody's sitting here saying he's Roy Jones. You know what I mean? But he is one of the hardest punching fighters in history. And for that, he's definitely not overrated in that part because we all know his power is real. Nobody wants to watch Deontay win a decision anyway. We want to see him knock somebody out.
And you know, they say that's all he's got. That's all he needs, right? Like everybody's gonna get hit in a boxing match, and when you get hit by Deontay, you're just not getting up unless your name's Tyson Fury, and you know he's one of arguably the greatest of all time, to me, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna be fun though. They were talking about December if that fight gets made.
I heard January in Saudi. But
And I wouldn't surprise me in Saudi, and that's a huge money fight out there for Saudi. Hey, I'm not mad at it. Get that money, Joshua, because you know exactly what you're walking into.
Bro, I can't even like picture that fight. I don't know if Anthony Joshua throws a punch because he looks like he's scared in these fights.
Right.
And when you have a guy that could probably literally kill you, I don't know what that fight even looks like.
Yeah, I know. I want to see Joshua and Joe Joyce because to me they're both garbage fighters. Just throw it out there and say it. But I want to see them and see like who's the champion of the garbage can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, Joe Joyce, he's pretty much what he could take a punch like that. That's what it is.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
together they can create one fighter. You know what I mean? But separate.
Oh yeah.
Separately.
But like him and Joshua, that's probably actually a good fight because I mean, AJ's a strong guy, right?
Yeah,
you can't take that away. But I just ever since I think Andy Ruiz took his soul, that dude is just not. He's not the same. He's not that same fighter who would have somebody hurt and just go for the kill.
Right.
He's just not.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like even when he fought Klitschko, you could see a little bit. He's got that whole I don't need to be in here doing this type of mentality. I think sometimes that's what takes over. Because even when he fought Klitschko and he was getting dropped and rocked or whatever, he had that like he was on the verge of like being done. Not necessarily quitting, but not trying hard enough to stay.
When it first went through his head, like, yo, what? Like, something can happen. Yeah, because Klitschko, I thought Klitschko almost had him out. And, he came back but then that all went out the window, that coming back, that combinations when Andy Ruiz did, what he did to him.
Right.
I haven't seen that Joshua since, right? Like he came back and beat Ruiz, but he ran around the ring against a guy who said he didn't train, right? The guy didn't look like he trained, and Anthony Joshua was happy to win a decision against that, right? Like it was different, right? Because when Lennox Lewis lost, we just talked about Rahman. When Lennox Lewis lost, he came back and did what? He knocked Rahman out.
Right.
And that's different to me than Joshua losing and then coming back and like, yo, I'm gonna try to work my way to win a decision.
Right.
So that just kind of shows where they're at to me.
It's true.
But hey, sign me up because that's a fight we've been looking towards for years.
Yeah, straight up. And that was definitely true. I mean, he ran away from a guy who couldn't run, so of course you're gonna win.
And just how hyped they were for his fans and him for that fight. It's like Andy Ruiz looked like he didn't train. He said he didn't train, and you're happy to like box your way to a decision. If Anthony Joshua really was like, if he came in and flatlined Ruiz and like said, no, that's a complete fluke, I'd be like, yo, okay. But him winning that rematch and the way he did kind of told me all I need to know about Anthony Joshua.
Right. And the king of the rematches, next to Lennox Lewis, for me, well, maybe not all of the rematches, but Roy Jones, because when he came for Montel Griffin in that rematch, he was not playing. That first round, just like you said, when you wipe him out in that rematch, it's a wrap. Look at Wilder Stavern. Like he got rid of him. You know what I mean? Like that. He's like, you're not going the full 12 this time. You're out of here, buddy.
Yeah. So
that's how it goes, man. But slow week. We don't got anything really to look forward to this weekend. Of course, the fight in Phoenix. Make sure you go down there if you're an Arizona local for sure. Show support. Celebrity Theater Saturday night. But other than that, we don't have much going on this week.
Hey, talk about. I mean, we'll get us out of here. But fight that was announced today that you kind of made me mad with.
I made you mad with.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I guess the fight made me mad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Erickson Lubin and Jesus Ramos,
Bro.
154. What a banger right there, man. That's yeah.
Why, man? Why?
Yeah, and I mean, you've said it all the time on this show. Like you're a big Lubin fan. You've been for years, and Ramos is your guy too. So that's definitely that's a tough one for you right there. Those are your guys.
Yeah, like I with Charlo going up and fighting Canelo, I'm like, bro, once those belts get relinquished, there's a lot of good fighters there, right? And I thought, man, I think Lubin, yeah, he got pushed kind of quick, and he got caught against Charlo. He got caught against Pandora, but I think Lubin's really good, man. He has everything you want in a fighter. That's my guy. But then I've also said Jesus Ramos, like, bro, that's the guy. And he could be a pound for pound, a guy that we talk about pound for pound, best fighter in the sport in the next couple of years. So then when you guys told me that they were fighting each other, I was like, dang, why? But that's one of the fights that can be made. And to put that on a pay-per-view undercard, as a boxing fan, man, you got to love that.
Yeah, that's a perfect fight for an undercard, pay-per-view worthy right there for sure. And it's a hell of a fight, man. If Lubin wins, that's like crazy because styles make fights, the way fights turn out. I think if Lubin wins, he should be in line for a shot against somebody like a Brian Mendoza right after. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I think both guys are better than Brian Mendoza. I mean, Jesus Ramos has already beat Brian Mendoza. So, to me, I mean, whoever wins that fight is probably, if we're excluding Charlo's off at 168. Whoever wins that fight, to me, bro, that's the best 54 pounder out there.
Yeah, you might be right. That might be hard to argue at that point. Yeah. And Gritty has a good point too. Hate that Lubin doesn't take easy fights, bro. All day, never. He does not take easy fights, and you gotta love that in fighter. Like, yeah, we hate that to see that because he's not giving himself a break. But really, as fight fans, you gotta love that, man. That's the type of fighters we like to see, and the sport doesn't have enough of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how old Lubin is. Is he even 25 yet? I'm not sure, but like. Man, he says who wins predictions.
That's a tough one, man.
It's
hard.
My gut instinct tells me that Jesus Ramos is one of the best fighters in the sport, and I think that'd be my gut instinct. Is it too early for him? Lubin's obviously gonna have that experience. Lubin's going to have the experience. He's going to have the speed. He could pop. But I really kind of think Jesus Ramos is just that good.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think I would do the same thing for the same reason you guys said. He is special. He is a great. And this might be a very tough test for him for sure. And it's going to let us know how great he truly is. It's a win-win fight for us fans because we're gonna find out who really is able to take it to that next level against top level competition.
Yeah, bro. Especially when you're gonna have, I mean, on the undercard, like that's a great fight. It's kind of great for the sport. The only thing I don't know if they're gonna get the attention they deserve, right? Because Canelo and Charlo are. And rightfully so, that's the main event. But these guys are two really good fighters in a really good weight class. And like I said, bro, I think whoever wins this fight is the best fighter at 154, excluding Charlo. I think both would beat Tim Tszyu. I think both would beat Mendoza. One has. I'm really looking forward to this fight, and at the same time, I'm mad that this fight is happening.
I feel you. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. I know we got Elijah Garcia on that undercard too, so that card is
Easy.
shaping up to be nice.
Easy.
It's gonna be. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be the. There might be one more TV fight. Usually pay per view does 3 undercards, so
Yeah, usually 4 fights on it, but
yeah. So that I'm curious to see who the third fight will be, rounding off that undercard. But those are already two good ones that are going to tune in, because whoever Elijah is going to fight is going to be pretty fun to fight.
Oh, I would wonder if it's someone in Canelo's camp, someone with ties to Reynoso or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing like somebody like David Morale get on that undercard as well too. I don't know how possible that would be.
But yeah, you have Canelo, Charlo, and Lubin, Ramos. Well, people say, "Oh, the boxing doesn't give us good cards." Those at the top of that card, that's a great card, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's
I
definitely.
mean, I actually hope Lubin or Ramos, one of them. I actually hope one of them gets hurt so that the fight doesn't happen.
Don't rob us fight fans of a good fight, bro.
Lubin or Ramos, if one of you guys aren't feeling 100%, you kind of got a wrist injury or something, man, just pull out, bro. Those are my guys, man.
It's gonna be a good fight, man. I can't wait to see it. I don't know who I would bet against if I had to choose, like as far as like knockout or decision. I don't know. I don't even know who I would see hurt in the other one. Lubin, we know, has got pop. So does Ramos. Maybe Ramos can hurt Lubin.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Lubin hurt. So, yeah, you would lean. We haven't seen Ramos hurt. Obviously, Lubin
hasn't fought somebody, with the type, that same power and ferociousness as Lubin. And Lubin's a dog, man. I feel like he's got a chip on his shoulder now more than when he was undefeated coming up. He's a different fighter, smarter too, which is dangerous as well. So that's going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, with Kevin Cunningham and even against Fundora, like Lubin was having success, and he didn't want that fight to be called off.
Right.
Maybe winning that fight or whatever, but that's a tough fight for both. But hey, props to them for wanting to push themselves, especially. I mean, Lubin's obviously pushed himself against Charlo, Fundora. He's taking those fights. Even Ramos, even though he's young, man, right? Like he fought. Who did he fight at the Caleb plant? Joey Spencer.
Yeah,
that's 2 undefeated guys that he was willing to take on.
Right.
And they completely washed him, and he was scheduled to fight. Was it Garcia? Before he got hurt, so that tells me Ramos is trying to climb those ranks right away. He's not waiting on anything, and man, that I think that's gonna steal the show on Canelo Charlo card.
Yeah, it is. I think so too. That's going to be the pick of the night, unless they come up with something else for the other 2 fights. But I think that's going to be the one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know who to speculate who Elijah would be matched up with at 168 right now. I'm sorry, 160.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if you're getting Lubin Ramos, we know Elijah wants to move quick.
Yeah.
What do they do, right? Like if they're giving us Lubin Ramos, shoot, I mean, Elijah might be in just as tough too. Which he would probably welcome because he seems ready. He seems ready to be at that level too. So
and they said, I mean, his goal is to be a world champion by the time he's 21. I know his birthday's coming up again. He'll be 21 in April. So,
I mean, if I'm just, I mean, I know nothing. If I'm just throwing out names, bro, him against Erislandy Lara, that'd be cool.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, Lara and Garcia were supposed to fight. That fight mysteriously just disappeared out of everywhere. Like it was a fight that was announced and everything, and that was it. Like nothing else came about it. It was the weirdest shit ever.
Oh well, if that fight was still happening, if they threw that on this card, bro, we might be getting an all-time card, bro.
Yeah, for real. Hey, you never know. That might be the third fight that's rounds it out on that undercard too.
Hey,
could be. we'll see. I'm curious to see who Elijah is going to fight right now in that middleweight division. I mean, I don't even know who else. I'm sure it's going to be a banger though. Can't think of anybody off the top of my head to throw in there with him. Shane Mosley Jr. I mean, that's food right there, really though.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's kind of surpassed that already, and
yeah,
on that Ramos level, like these guys have shown they want to fight the best already.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see what we get.
Definitely. Hey, shout out both AZ fighters, man. Ramos and Elijah. And
What'd you think about? You talking about AZ fighters? What'd you think about Oscar Valdez? Because I didn't hear Tucson.
I know, Oscar, bro. We welcome you back, bro. Your first fight where you announced that you're from Sonora, Mexico. You lost, bro. So go ahead and go back to getting the Tucson, Arizona announcement back, man. We like the representation, bro.
That's funny, man.
He's been. I mean, a lot of people. He's definitely represents and Tucson and Nogales are like rock stones throw away. You know what I mean? They're basically the same thing, but yeah. So I mean, he's always around here too. People are always like, "Hey, I saw Oscar at pizza place or Best Buy or whatever." He's always around town too. So it hurts to see him take that loss, but I mean, other than that, I think Arizona's with their A-side fighters have gone undefeated this year.
Yeah, man, a lot of good stuff coming from that area, and lots of good fights happening in that area. They just announced Bam Rodriguez, Sonny Edwards is going to be in Glendale in December.
Yeah, yep. That might be one I have to roll through for sure. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
I think Sonny Edwards, I think that's Jack's guy too. One of his fighters.
Jack's guy is about to catch the beats.
Hey, there we go. I smell a bet coming on. So
hey, all day.
I'm tired of being the only one taking these bets and then losing too. I need to figure out a way to come up on nibs so I don't have to take these 4 shots.
Hey, yo.
That's about it. I'm gonna drink this smart water and call it a night. Any other last comments you got, Ray?
No, man. Thanks for tuning in. Connor Goade, thanks for coming on the show. We'll get the results next weekend. Probably, actually, I'm sure they'll be on ITR IG, and then of course we'll recap it next Monday. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for listening to us, and appreciate it.
There we go, y'all. Make sure. Oh yeah, well, we talked about earlier. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and have a good night, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, it helps. It might be corny, but it helps.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Boost them numbers up for sure. Peace, y'all.